Welcome back, FBA Unfiltered crew. We're so happy to have you on this video with us. I'm Taylor. I'm here with Rami today, and I just had to check in. I'm so excited about this product going live. I want to check in with Rami, see what the status is of the listing and what final tweaks we're making to the listing before we officially go live. Because as you can see, guys, the listing currently says unavailable. But let's go through the listing as it stands right now, and then Rami is going to explain the final tweaks we're making and our strategy for actually going live on Amazon.
First things first, we had, the rough draft of the listing made for a while. And what do I mean by the rough draft is that we have, the title optimized, we have the bullet points. I mean, this can still be, here's the thing, we're going back and forth. Like a good litmus test is like, when was the last time that you bought a product and actually read the bullet points? So we made these bullets like nice, fun, hip, kind of matches the brand. But at the same time, I know bullet points is really for the robots. It's for, being able to detect text and for SEO. So we might optimize this a little bit, make this a little bit more chunkier, have more keywords. But we'll see. Next thing is have like a generic description, which I had that again just for the rough draft. But this is going to be irrelevant because we're going to have A+ content. So we're going to actually have a whole list of photography there. So this is one section that still needs to be completed. We're having a whole list of A+ content being done. Might optimize this just a little bit. Title is good. We made a bare bones, store page just so it looks nicer. I don't really care for, this to have a crazy store page in the beginning. But just so, again, it looks nicer, it looks more professional, X, Y, and Z. And then here are our current photos. But the reasons that we are waiting to go fully live, because what's good, and if you've watched our previous video, we've already made final payment. The goods are actually already at Amazon's warehouse. They're actually already checked in. But if I go into my Amazon Seller Central account and I go into the Shilajit gummies, which is right here, you can see that we have 372 units reserved. Now, I want to stress that this is your first time, going into selling on Amazon. This is normal to see this reserve number because I do see a lot of people freak out in the beginning. But if you go into the FBA inventory breakdown, you'll see here that 372 is reserved. But the 372 is actually an FC transfer, which means fulfillment center transfer. So we're going to actually wait until this 372 that says reserved goes to available. When we see them actually be available, that's when we're going to open the listing because right now it's closed. And the reason why this is important is if we just turn it on now, because technically speaking, if we open this listing, it will go live and it's ready to go, but it'll have like a ship date time of like next month, right? Because it's still an FC transfer. Amazon can't delineate exactly how long it'll take for the goods to actually be live. That's why this is important to show available. And once it's available, we're going to turn it on because that's when you're going to have 2-day, 1-day, or same-day shipping, right? Because it's going to be, depending on where you live in the US, you're going to have that fast delivery. So in my opinion, when you're launching a product, this is super crucial. And I see a lot of people make this mistake because then you're going to miss out on the honeymoon period. You want them to go live when it's like 2-day, 1-day, same-day shipping. Very important.
Cool. So I hope that makes sense on the inventory side, guys. But what about our product images? You saw we kind of had some rough draft images, if you will. And so let's compare those to what's currently available on Amazon as our competition.
I cannot stress this enough. This is so much common sense. You guys have to see that the overwhelming majority of sellers on Amazon, they're not even in the US. Like, again, no hate to anybody, but at the end of the day, a US-based consumer understands the US-based consumer better, right? So with that said, it's very important to look. Like this is actually one of the ones that are selling a ton of month. It has #1 top rated for Shilajit gummies. And this listing, in my opinion, no hate to them, is trash. It's terrible. This actually looks like a ChatGPT generated image to me. Like that's what I initially thought. That's the vibe it gave me right off the bat. It's just not good. And then if we move into the photography, like, I mean, this is stuff you saw on Amazon back in like 2015 to like 2018. That's just that is what this would be like considered a good image back then. And it's definitely not now. At the end of the day, when I see stuff like this still existing and getting #1 top rated is just crazy to me. And to kind of further prove my point, obviously I've never done this before. I was right on the money. I knew it. Not a US based seller, right? That it's just that's what we're competing with. And again, they're the #1 top seller, #1 top rated according to Amazon. Again, I'm not saying that their photos are like absolute like hot garbage, right? That's not what I'm saying. But like, do you think this is gonna sell anybody? Like, is my genuine question. It's like, genuinely is someone like clicking on a Shilajit listing and is just like looking at this and saying, okay, this is why I'm going to buy it. There's not like a real sales pitch here. There's not like a real driving factor, in my opinion. This is probably pretty good. This one is a bit more of like a sales pitch to me as to why someone would buy it. It's natural, gluten-free, nut-free, soy-free, X, Y, and Z. This is what we know we're competing against. But so now we understand, hey, this is the lay of the land. Let's now make sure that we're curating our images to be modern. Sales points are driven on there and just super nice to see, right? From a consumer standpoint. So let's start. So first things first, here's our main image, right? We can't really do anything here. It has to be a white background, has to be what the product is. We can kind of mess with Amazon's terms of service a little bit if we wanted to add a bow or little extra stuff where it's kind of the gray area. I like to stay away from that. So let's move into the first selling point, right? As a photography, right? We know we are launching the first Shilajit gummy in America that are for women. So why wouldn't we make an entire sales pitch as a photo for that? America's first Shilajit supplement made for women, right? Funny enough, I actually believe I got this off a Goalie supplement image where it was like America's first something. And I was like, oh, that's actually really good. I'm going to take that and make it for ours. And then if we move into the second image, it explains why it's for women. Sweetened wellness for women, Shilajit with Manuka honey, right? So that kind of gives that, feminine sort of energy in the photography as well. And then we moved into an us versus them comparison, right? Where we knew we actually outbeat the competition, where ours are tasty, it's easy to take, because commonly Shilajit is in that like resin base. No mess, no stress. Again, speaking to the resin base. And then pure ingredients, because a lot of the other Shilajit products, where if we go back into here, have a bunch of different stuff. Ashwagandha, burdock, root, sea moss, lion's mane. Not saying those points aren't great. Those are great points, but sometimes people just want straight up Shilajit, right? Ours is just Shilajit and then the honey, right? So that's why, again, in my opinion, someone would pick ours over the competition. And if we moved into the next one, I actually had some of my family members, as you guys know, actually taste test and sample this product. So I actually got reviews made. So we had a little bit of a, another standout picture with the Shilajit, loved by women everywhere, women approved wellness, where I had 3 women actually review the product, and just made another, again, kind of salesy type photo. And then lastly, we actually had like a, I kind of like calling this photo like the thing that you just throw everything at the wall and just have everything there. And we want one photo like that, where it kind of says like, hey, if someone is like really looking for why they would buy Shilajit gummies, let's have a photo for that. And that's what we did here. And there's actually one more photo that's very crucial that we're waiting. We're getting a COA done, a certificate of analysis. And the last photo I'm going to have on the listing is going to be an ingredients panel with the COA next to it, and kind of make a tried, tested, proven photo to, again, boost the credibility. And this is where, in my opinion, we're like hitting people with fact after fact after fact after fact, and really delivering, in my opinion, a really good feature benefit over and over and over again, right? And that's where I think my sales side comes in. But I really think this is super important to understand, because again, in my opinion, I'm not saying these look good. They're high quality. It's there. It's great. And it works, right? But if you're talking about, hey, are you going to convert that extra 10% that will then compound and people will come back and buy your products more? That's where I think we're going to really outshine.
One reason why I love this image, you guys, is we mentioned kind of the bullet points and how often bullet points can be, I think, are trending more in the direction of being somewhere where you kind of optimize for SEO versus really selling the product. And what I love about this image is it actually basically has our bullet points in the image, which is super powerful because so many people are on mobile, so many people are on their phone, and the text for the bullet points can be really small, hard to see. People scroll right past it, but almost everyone is going through the images. And so to have the bullet point content kind of incorporated in a short, eye-catching version in a product image, I think is a really cool strategy. I really liked this. I really liked how this photo turned out.
Most people are buying products on Amazon on their phone. And not only that, dude, sometimes people are buying it when they're driving, when they're moving, busy, X, Y, and Z. They're not reading any of this stuff. Right. So now imagine someone searches this while they're on the go, while they're out with their friends. They're seeing all of these products, right? Which one are you going to pick? You see so much going on. And then you're like, timeout. Literally, the keyword I just searched, Shilajit gummies for women, is on a package. I should probably buy this one. That is something that is not spoken about enough. Your main keyword should be huge, bold, on the main packaging, on the main image. If you do that, I promise you, your click-through rate is going to be much better. Just to prove to you, like, hey, this is like what I'm doing, like in general, this isn't completed. Like, even if we take another product I'm launching, literally, I did it here too. Iron gummies, right? I want that to be like in your face for anything I'm doing and any of the products I'm moving on. And I just really wanted to stress that point for you guys that when you're getting into the product, I don't care what it is, supplement, not supplement, just make sure that your branding and your main image has like the number one keyword you're going after, just big, bold, because Amazon consumers have way too many options. And when you have the main keyword they're searching right in the front packaging, it goes a long way.
I want to recap quickly the strategy points we made here in this video. Our listing has been up for some time. We've been refining it, and we actually have inventory that's technically checked into Amazon. But we didn't want to go live with this listing yet because those units aren't going to be available for Amazon Prime shipment delivery windows. And so when it went live, if we went live right now, it would basically say, hey, you can purchase this, but it's going to be shipped out in March 15th or something like that. And that's going to scare off a good number of customers. And you really don't want to lose that momentum right from the launch. You want to launch and be ready to make sales because Amazon is paying attention and that's going to help you bump up in the algorithm. So that was the main point. Number one, wait till your inventory is actually marked as available before actually putting your listing live. And then while we were waiting for this to happen, we also took advantage of that downtime, so to speak, to really go through and really capitalize on our images and make the best images possible, taking into consideration what our competition is doing. So that was the main takeaway from this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.